You are Locked On Rockets Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I don't know about you guys, but I did not have a good time staying up late on a Thursday night watching the Rockets in San Francisco play the Golden State Warriors and walk out of there with a performance that was, well, not one that you want to write home about. That is for sure, as they dropped their second straight on this road trip and their second overall to a team that they are going to play again next week at the Toyota Center in a game that will decide if they move on to the Las Vegas stages of the NBA Cup. Hello and welcome. Late night tonight on a Monday night, or not Monday. Why am I saying Monday? That's how off I am. Thursday night. I just had the schedule up and I'm just looking at the games played, and I think I saw Monday right in front of my face. But welcome to a late night edition of the Locked On Rockets Postcast. I'm your host, Michael Connor. Thank you guys for stopping by, whether it's live or recorded. I appreciate it. Come on in and join us. Hit the subscribe button. This episode tonight of the Locked On Rockets Postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Where do you start with this Rockets game tonight? I mean, look at the story for it was kind of told early, right? Now, they came out and they were ice cold early, turned it around, found their way at the end of the first quarter, but they could just never put it all together. It's a disappointing result when you go and look at that Golden State team tonight and you see the guys that aren't in it. Obviously, no Steph Curry, no Draymond Green. Not that you're worried about him being a scorer. I mean, hell, the Rockets didn't even let Buddy Hield go off against him tonight. They got punked by Jonathan Kuminga. That's who they got destroyed by tonight. Jonathan Kuminga. I mean, he's not a bad player by any means. He averages what? About 14 points a game. And he put up a salty 33 on the Rockets tonight. I mean, I don't know. I think that the Rockets, first of all, didn't have enough offensively. I mean, look, you go out there and you shoot what they shoot in the game tonight as a team. And if I start sneezing here in a second, I'm sorry. I feel one coming, and it's going to suck. Sorry, hold on. Fighting it off. They shot 37% from the field. They shot 26 from three. Big yikes. Big yikes. I mean, you're just not going to win games when you shoot that way. You're not. I mean, sure, 4 of the 5 starters tonight get into double digits. That's nice. But doesn't mean a lot when nobody's hitting 20 points. Also hurts that one of your key contributors, typically off the bench, Tari Eason, was not available to the Rockets tonight. That matters immensely for this team. His scoring ability off the bench has been big. I'm not going to write too much into a game like this. It's like any other. It's like if you guys have been around on this channel when we did baseball season. This is where the similarities of baseball and basketball come together. In an 82-game season, you're going to have nights like this. And I'm completely aware of that. Do I like it? Heck no. I don't want to watch it. You don't want to watch it. I mean, it's like there was a lid over the basket most of the night. You know? Sorry, now the yawns. I haven't been yawning all night. Now it's time for the show at 11:40 at night, and I want to start yawning now. But that's not what I came to watch. It's not what you stayed up late to watch. We stayed up late to watch a better offensive effort. I love shot selection all night long tonight. I didn't think it was fantastic. I think that they were chasing buckets at times. And I think that that's a very natural reaction to go out there and play that way, when you're not making anything, you know, you've had no real rhythm at all outside of, really, let's look at the box here. Honestly, they scored 27 in the fourth. They had a little bit of a rhythm there but I felt like they're only true spurt of action that looked okay was at the end of the first quarter. And they climbed back a little bit. And a lot of that is product of Golden State not having their best players out there. Imagine if Steph Curry's available tonight. Probably lose by a few more points than he did tonight would be my guess. That's just my guess. It sucks. These nights aren't fun. I don't want to talk about a loss. I want to talk about nothing but wins. I can't get everything I want, right? I can ask for it, can't get it. Does this have any sort of implication on the upcoming NBA Cup game? Does it have you concerned? I know that there's a lot of people out there that saw that the Rockets were facing Golden State at home, and they were saying to themselves, this works out. That's a winnable game. And while, yes, it is a winnable game, does losing to them twice this season matter to you heading into next week's matchup for the chance to be sent off to Vegas in the NBA Cup? We'll talk about it here in just a couple of moments on the Locked On Rockets Postcast. Right now, though, I need to tell you about Chime. Have you heard about Chime? Well, it's time that you do. Sometimes, look, you can have some issues when it comes to your bank account. We're all human. We've all done it. We've pulled from one account here and made a mistake and said, uh-oh. You know what? Chime is here to help you through that process. Chime helps with fee-free overdraft for up to $200. Your next deposit, it's applied to your balance. Get spotted on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. No monthly fees or maintenance fees, and over 50,000 fee-free ATMs. To date, Chime has spotted members over $32 billion in transactions through SpotMe. Friends give friends a boost. Eligible members get complimentary boost to temporary friends. Increase a friend's SpotMe limit. When you give a boost, they can boost you back to temporarily raise your limit. Set up a direct deposit in your Chime account. After a qualifying direct deposit of $200+, Chime will notify you to enroll in SpotMe. With an activation debit card, Chime will spot you up to $200 on the debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. Your next direct deposit is applied to your negative balance. Chime never charges overdraft fees for using SpotMe. Enjoy the holidays while keeping your financial goals on track with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/NBA. That's chime.com/NBA. Chime feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bank Corp NA or Stride Bank NA. Members FDIC. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Direct deposit timing depends on submission of payment file. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in SpotMe and are subject to monthly limits. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs and for OTC withdrawals. Locked On Rockets Postcast, late night on a Thursday night. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Watching me drink from my massive jug as always. I'm your host, Michael Connor. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this later on or you're listening to this later on, go ahead and, of course, hit the subscribe button and come on back. Also, you can get this show anywhere that you get your podcast when it comes to the audio form of it. Just go and search Locked On Rockets. It's this show. It's the Locked On Rockets show. And it costs you nothing. It's free. Other than your time and I'm appreciative of you guys spending your time with me and this show as well. It is always a very nice treat to be able to hang out with you guys and talk Rockets, Texans, Astros, Cougs. That's what we do on this channel. It's not just the Rockets. If you are new to it, it's Rockets, Texans, Astros, Cougs. And again, it's not the only Locked On Rockets show. When you search for Locked On Rockets, wherever you get your podcast, you're going to get this show on the Locked On Rockets show. That's Jackson Gatlin doing a fantastic job covering your Rockets, talking about them on the daily podcast. Go ahead and check out his show. And again, I'm going to keep reminding people because I don't think some people have been finding us when it comes to Rockets games. We've not replaced Jackson. He's still there. He's still doing his thing on his channel. This is a channel for post-game reaction. So we're here for you for that. Make sure you come on back and do it again on Sunday. We'll talk a little bit about the Sunday game coming up in just a bit. It'll be our only game that we have on Sunday because the Houston Texans are off. So this channel will only have one show on Sunday. I know, makes me sad too, but yeah, it is what it is. You can't be too mad about it. The Rockets tonight are losers to the Golden State Warriors. It happens, right? You know, you're going to lose games. You don't love it when you lose games like this tonight. It is what it is. The Rockets, on the season now, falling to, where's my page? I'm sorry, I've got a billion tabs open on my screen here. 15-8 on the season. And, right there in the thick of things in the Western Conference, still one of the better teams in the conference. They are now 2.5 games out of the 1 seed. Excuse me. I don't understand it. I seriously, I didn't sit here and watch the game. I didn't yawn once. And it's like we put the microphone on and here, hey, time to start yawning. I know it's 11:45. This is so beyond my bedtime. It's not even funny. I sound like such an old man when I say that. Like I'm usually out by no later. 10:30 is late to me. I'd love to be asleep by 9:30 if I could. Good Lord, what has happened to me? I used to be young and spry. Now I'm in my mid-30s, and I want to go to bed at 9:30. And I really wanted to go to bed tonight because the Rockets were playing the way that they were. Not fun. Not fun at all. Here's the question now is, these two teams are going to play each other in the next NBA Cup matchup. And so far this season, now you don't judge tonight's game overall from the standpoint of the Warriors didn't have Steph Curry out there and Draymond. I'll give Draymond he is a player on the team. But he's not an offensive weapon, obviously, for that basketball team. So it's not like and he's not as good of a defender as he was never the world's greatest defender. He just got a lot of hype because he talked really loud and he was bombastic on the court. That's just my opinion. But they didn't have those guys out there. So that doesn't make me feel that I guess it makes you feel worse, right? The Rockets want to advance in the NBA Cup. They want to take it to Vegas. They want to win this thing, right? It's part of their goal here, and that's what they're trying to do. And they've played really well. Yeah, I know Sacramento the other night. That was a bummer for that thing to go the way that it was, or the way that it did. But I do have the concerns of how you match up with this basketball team. Now, the reason you have the biggest concern is because what if Golden State comes out and has a Golden State night, where they just shoot the you-know-what out of the basketball? Like, remember the first time that these two teams matched up and Buddy Hield went berserk? And tonight, again, he didn't do anything. He 1 of 8 for 5 points. Still managed to be a plus 18 in the plus-minus category off starting tonight for those Golden State Warriors. I'm just gonna go with it now. They're full on. Sorry, it's not the best for doing a show, but I can't quit the yawns. It's just happening. But matchup wise, the Rockets to play that team, they really need to have a great defensive night. And it's not like they had a horrific defensive night. I mean, look, you gave up. It wasn't good. I shouldn't say it wasn't. 99 points. It was the fact that Kuminga went nuts that you didn't love. Points in the paint tonight for Golden State was a lot. 52 of them to the Rockets 42. Like, that's something that you can't allow to happen that way. Like, that's giving a Golden State team that doesn't have Steph Curry on it an out to winning, allowing them to beef up in the paint like that. It just can't happen. And it happened tonight. Kuminga doing his thing. Obviously, Andrew Wiggins did it as well. So it was just too much. And on your side of things, when you're going out here missing layups, doing whatever, bricking threes, shooting the ball poorly all night long, your results it's not going to be good, right? It's pretty simple. I know it's cliche to talk that way and to say those kind of things, but I mean, like, I always get back to they call them cliches and they say that they use these sayings for everything in life for a reason, because they're typically accurate, right? And you shoot the ball like this, you're not gonna beat anybody. It would literally take them shooting worse than you. And even then, I mean, I guess should I feel any better about it? Because you still only lost by 6 tonight and you played so poorly? But Golden State's capable of coming out and, putting you in a big hole early. We saw it in the first match, and the Rockets have spent the entire game clawing back and then sent it to overtime. And there you go. They ended up losing. It's one of the tough losses to stomach of this season. And by the way, for this team now, this is crazy. This is the first time I've lost consecutive games this year. First time. Because they lost their first one to Charlotte, then they won, then they lost, and they won 2 in a row, then they lost one, then they won 2 in a row, then they lost one, then they won 5 in a row, then they lost one, and won 2 in a row, lost one, won 3 in a row, and then they've lost 2 in a row. First consecutive losses. That's pretty good for now. I know that when these things happen, you start playing better basketball, you're putting up a record like the Rockets have in this early part of the season. Expectation levels rise, correct? We all want more once you start getting the good stuff. And I can be guilty of it as well. To be 23 games into the season and to finally lose consecutive games, if you told me that before the year, I'd be like, what? Okay. I thought this was going to be a losing team by any means this year. I thought this would be a, 43, 44, 45 win basketball team. And they're pacing to be a 50-something win team right now. That'd be huge. You can pull that off. Tonight did not look like a team that's capable of doing that, though. Let's take a look at the next game. Sunday, they're going to wrap up this West Coast trip. Maybe they need to get off this West Coast trip. They're going to play the Clippers, their first look at that new arena. We'll talk about that next here on the Locked On Rockets Postcast. You're ready to take on all the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Locked On Rockets Postcast for a couple of more minutes as the clock nears midnight. Appreciate you guys watching live tonight. Appreciate all of you that are going to watch this later on. Hopefully you're going to enjoy the next one a little bit more than this one tonight. That was not a lot of fun. The Rockets on Sunday will be in Los Angeles to take on the Clippers. Hey, we won't be up till midnight for that one. It'll still be late. It's an 8 o'clock tip Sunday night. Rockets, by the way, we'll see this Warriors team next Wednesday, and that'll be late. Oh, I didn't even notice that. That sucks. Next Wednesday night's at 11:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m. because it's on TNT. Great. Thrilling. Always good to have a central start be at 8:30. But going to LA and playing in the new arena, I don't remember what the name of it is. There in Los Angeles. Is it? It's the Intuit Dome. I was going to say Paycor. Is that where they just played the other night with Sacramento's Paycor or whatever? The Intuit Dome, which I don't know if you guys watched the 60 Minutes thing on it that Steve Ballmer did with them a couple months ago. It looks awesome. It looks like it's going to be the greatest arena ever built. And I'm sure somebody's going to come along and literally just copy it and try and do it a little bit different. But like this guy spared no expense. And I think if you seriously go watch the 60 Minutes thing on it, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, from the standpoint of they don't put the game on TVs in the stadium, like when you're not in the seats because they just want you to be in your seats, all the amenities it has. And the silly thing is, and it sounds so crazy, it's got like 1 billion toilets in it because they don't want you spending time waiting in line for the toilet. It's marvelous. Hopefully the Rockets will send the people out early or want to spend time in the toilet, one of the billions of toilets that are available Sunday night when they take on that Los Angeles Clippers squad. Now, of course, the Rockets played them earlier this year, back-to-back at home. Beat them both nights. Played really well both nights. The Clippers are a team that's started to round into form since last time that you've seen them. They're still doing it, of course, without dead man walking, which is Kawhi Leonard. I guess he's still like a thing or whatever. Norman Powell's been going off for them this year. Harden's I can't call him mid because he's not mid, but for what James Harden used to be, he's mid now. It's a game you should win. I don't care. It's on the road. You beat them twice already. Maybe they're going to want to get back at you for that. It's a game you should win. And they kind of need it, They kind of need it after the way that these two games have gone on this road trip. Don't forget to, again, join us after that game Sunday night. Probably be about what? 10:30, hopefully, for this show to get started. We'll be live with you, breaking it all down right here on the Locked On Rockets Postcast. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, now morning, because it is after midnight. And we will talk again, as I mentioned, after Rockets and Clippers Sunday on the Locked On Rockets Postcast.